Have you ever wondered why some fields in Tableau are green and some are blue? Or why sometimes Tableau creates marks and other times it displays category names? In this lesson, we'll answer these questions as we learn about continuous and discrete fields. Continuous fields have values that can fall anywhere along an axis. This axis can contain an infinite number of values. For example, the temperature can be any number from absolute 0 on up and anywhere in between two integers. The temperature could be 78 degrees, 78.4 degrees, 78.43 degrees, and so on. There's infinite possibilities. Discrete fields have values that can only fall into a specific bin or category, not between. For example, pet name would be a discrete field because the names of pets are distinct categories. Let's look at some examples of continuous fields. The height of a tree, wind speed, or the price of an item. These will usually be treated as continuous fields by default in Tableau. When you use a continuous field in a view, you can tell it's continuous because Tableau turns the field green. Now, let's look at some examples of discrete fields. Names of pets, countries, or employee IDs. These will usually be treated as discrete fields by default in Tableau. There's no continuum of values between Mochi and Fluffy, or between one customer ID and another. When you use a discrete field in a view, you can tell it's discrete because Tableau turns the field blue. Let's look at how continuous and discrete fields affect the way Tableau visualizes your data. I'm looking at data from a small company that sells air conditioners. I want to see the average outdoor temperature over the last week, so I'll add the temperature field to the view. When you use a green continuous field in a view, it creates an axis like this one. I'm seeing a data point for each day's average temperature plotted along the axis. I can add another continuous field to create another axis. I'll add sales to see how temperature affects the sales of the products. Now my data are plotted along two axes, and it looks like air conditioners sell better when the temperature is higher. Now I want to compare the two models of air conditioner that this company sells. I'll add the product field to a new view. When you use discrete fields in a view, they create categories or headers. My blue discrete product field has created two categories named Standard and Deluxe because those are the two products this company sells. If I add a continuous field, such as sales, it'll create an axis. My sales data is plotted along the axis within each category or header. Looks like the Standard model is outselling the Deluxe. Right now, we have product on columns, creating a separate bar for each product name, and sales on rows, creating a vertical or y-axis. What happens if we move product to rows? Our categories move to the side. Now we have an axis for each product. Let's move sales to columns to see what happens. Now our axis is pointing to the right. It's become a horizontal or x-axis. Arranging continuous and discrete fields in your view is how you control the direction of your axes and the location of your categories or headers. Sometimes it makes sense to use a field as a continuous field in one view and as a discrete field in the next. Fortunately, Tableau lets us change this whenever we need to. For example, I might want to look at air conditioner sales over a continuous range of time. This shows me sales totals by month over the last several years, using the date field as a continuous field. The date field is creating an axis. But I can also change date into a blue discrete field to show sales broken down over the category of month. In this case, the date is creating categories or headers for my months. So, for example, data from June 2016, June 2015, June 2014, and so on are totaled up and added to the June bar. This way, I can see which months of the year are doing better than others.